Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am lounging. This
I
is the
see.
last day of Women's History Month, and I figured I'd do it with a robe, no
Yeah.
makeup on, you know, and can't wait to have beautiful women such as yourself from FSK on tonight. How is my mic? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, perfect, perfect. I just want to make sure because technical difficulties happen all the time.
Always, always. That's the name of the game, right?
Yes, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. So, for those that
Yeah.
are watching and those that will be on later to watch, tonight we're going to be pretty much enjoying the last moments of Women's History Month. And I wouldn't rather do it with anyone else besides my FSK family, and that is with the ladies of FSK to end off Women's History Month. Tonight we have Marcy. She's joining us tonight. She is our head cosplayer, and she definitely does an amazing cosplay as Iron Fist through FSK. And I mean, you could go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, because I'm just going to sit here and keep going down your list of accolades.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Marcy, otherwise known as Nikita, which is down here at the bottom, right there. See, you can find me on Instagram for the most part, and yeah, kind of go from there.
Okay, can you pronounce your Instagram name one more time for me? Because I always have an issue trying to say
Yeah,
it.
no one ever gets it. Don't feel bad. It's Veha Nikita. Uh, Basically, this was a it's a comic book character that I attempted to make up in high school, and I just like I like it was two characters names put together, and I was like, we're going with it, and it's just been that ever since.
So Veha.
I don't know where it came from.
I was about to say, it seems by the way it's spelled, it looks either Russian or it's Hispanic, Veja. But I love it. It definitely
Thanks.
stands out. I know how to find you with the VA, and then nobody else has the rest.
It's true. As soon as it pops up, you're like, oh no, nope, that's me.
That's it. That's it. I love it. I also think that it's pretty cool that that you're in comics, but you're not just in comics. You do some things outside of comics too, but still very artsy, still very crafty. And I was able to run into you one of these days doing that. Could you explain to them what you do? Some of some other things that you venture into.
Yeah, my day job is actually I work for a production company in town, and I am a scenic carpenter for my day job, and then I come home and I sew all night.
Scenic. Okay, say it again.
Scenic carpenter.
And what does a scenic carpenter do?
Um, Basically, think of like if you go to a play or a musical or whatever, somebody has to build those sets that are behind them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's basically what I do. But I do it for corporate world.
Hey.
So I don't normally deal with like theater stuff that much. But it's all like, say you go to a sales meeting for a company you work for. Usually we're doing something like that.
Yeah, and I thought it was so interesting because here I am, really excited to be like this big corporate type, recording. I was like super thrilled to be on this show, and all of a sudden I turn around, I'm recording, and I'm like, Marcy,
Yep.
Marcy's here. it
Yep.
was it was so mind blowing, but these are some of the things that you get into when you're in this realm of comic creation and you're a creator. How did you even get into something like this? Just finding out about
Oh boy. That's a long, convoluted story.
it.
But basically, I started working production 15 years ago. Yeah. Completely by accident. I was working in a costume shop after college, um, which I was an illustration major, which is why I know Mike. So we used to do comic book stuff there because I inked for him for like 3 years.
You
Um,
inked for him for 3 years. This
yeah.
is new to me. Oh,
Hey, new things you've learned tonight. Yeah, I used to ink for Mike years ago when he was first starting out. And yeah, I did that for a while because we had a comic book class, and like he and a couple other guys were kind of behind starting all of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll try stuff out because I am terrible at backgrounds.
Yeah.
I am not good at doing backgrounds, and so I was like, yeah, I'll ink, sure, no big deal, whatever. I did that for a while, but I ended up kind of going towards the 3-dimensional illustration stuff. So I learned how to make movie effects.
Yeah.
It's a weird, convoluted story. But yeah, so I worked at a costume shop after that for a couple of years, and it was kind of a terrible job. And I met somebody there that I worked a haunted house with. It's really convoluted. And who I worked at the haunted house with found out that I could sew, and they were like, oh, hey, we need a seamstress at our job to make like drape backdrops for events. And I was like, I can do that. It pays better. Sure.
I love it.
And so then 15 years later, I'm still in production, and I do a little bit of everything at this point.
Mercy, you are what we call in the entertainment field a backpacker. You can do so much. And that is something that I want to have the ladies tonight when they jump on. They're going to be jumping on sporadically. And I'm really excited to have you here first because, me and you go way back. And I was just super impressed by your skill set. But these are just some of the things that I want to highlight for the Women of FSK tonight. This is strong, powerful, like this is a power within itself, and that's why comics are so awesome because you get to kind of like become whatever you want through your craft and through your creation. And I want, people to see things that you do and the ladies that are going to be coming on tonight and really get excited, and really be happy to say, you know what, I am pretty dope. I am pretty amazing. I want to be around people that are doing the same thing I'm doing, but how? So I want to ask, within production, within cosplay, within just doing design, art, fashion anyway, where are some areas you think that they could be able to connect with people at? Like, would it be a location? Would it be social media that you find yourself really able to connect quickly and to be able to make that group of network that you can kind of feed from and give cool ideas from?
Yeah, I think some of the best ways are going to do, it's not free, but conventions are always a good option. Or going someplace that's, things that you like to do that you think other people like to do. Like art fairs are a big thing. I mean, heck, there's things that go on at comic book shops. Like you go there, if you talk to them, they might know other creators that you should interact with and get to talk to. And honestly, like Reddit is a big thing. You'll be able to talk to people on Reddit. I'm sure you can meet people all across the country that'll give you more information about stuff. Yeah, I mean, the internet's a wonderful place for these things.
It
to actually
is.
meet and get out to people, and yeah, I mean, I'm a little out of the loop for things for the most part, but
you're always busy. You're constantly booked.
I am.
Most is constantly booked, guys. Like I literally have to schedule time with her, like on a schedule, because she's that good, and I love being around amazing people like her. That will be able to add value to the world. Okay.
Oh, like you're one to talk, woman. You have done so much since you come back to town. Like it's crazy, and I'm like, how do you have time to do all of this?
You are superpowers.
Yes.
We have to juggle so much naturally as women. Even if you're not a parent, you still deal with the emotional struggles of life, of family, of your own personal goals, boyfriends, relationships, breakups.
Yeah.
Men are very I say they're very one plane in some ways unless they get depth, and that requires experience. That requires them going through something that kind of rocks a little bit. But as women, this is why we need a month to celebrate ourselves, because we technically need the year. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Because a month, I'm glad it's not a day. And I'm happy that it's a month. But damn it, we need a year. Okay.
I would agree. I mean, women should be celebrated all year round. We're the ones that make the world go around, guys.
here, use the phone. But if you fall off of that, then you're gonna be crying to me. Okay, you want to watch my phone too? Somebody get the tablet. This is part of, and this is the part that I'm okay with tonight because this is what women. Come here. This is what us women do. We carry
Hi.
these beautiful babies. Hello, this is my kitten. He is one of the youngest ambassadors at her school, and I'm super proud of you. And she is little.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. All right, go ahead and grab my tablet. It's right over here. And so, like, the things I want to express, if your cat jumps on you and is on your head, on their heads, it's okay because I want to showcase the levels that we go through every night, every day, being women in this world. So thank you so much, Marcy, for saying that.
Absolutely.
Tablet. All right, you guys are lucky that I don't need the phones, so nobody wants the tablet. Fine. Nobody gets the tablet back. You can get this phone. Here you go. The show is off, so you can get the phone. Let me get the password. This is what we do, guys. Mothers and also godmothers and aunties and great, grandmothers and great grand, all of that.
And pet mothers.
That is a big deal. I have a dog in California. Her name is Bella, and I tell you, I couldn't stop buying her. As a pet mom, I just saw something, and she was part of the family. It's just natural that my baby bows in her hair.
Right.
My baby she needs all these new great snacks that I don't know if they're going to be great for her. But we got toothbrushes,
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So us women, we are very strong. And we just do it with a smile most of the time.
Most of the time. There's sometimes it's not always a smile.
There's days where I'm in the tub and I'm crying, but I stay encouraged because I look at my past and I look where I come from and I look where I'm going and I say, you know what? There's someone that's going to be out there that wants to hear our story. There's someone that's going to be out there that's going to want to say, is there someone that I could talk to or listen to that understands me? Well, like you, Marcy, you have a story, right?
We all have a story, and that's the best part. We all get to listen to each other's stories.
Absolutely, and I'm so happy to have you as a friend, and you're going to be my mentor when it comes to this sewing thing. I mean, I made a robe, I've made some leggings.
All right.
I haven't gotten to the props yet, but that's
the fact you've already made a robe, which those can be tricky, and you've already made leggings, which stretch fabric alone is beyond some people's capabilities. So you've already mastered that. So good for you.
Thank you.
We've got it.
So much resources, and I'm ready to use it. I have a lot. When I say a lot of patterns, baby, we can make clothes for the year. Okay,
I won't talk about mine. I have 3 drawers of a 4-drawer dresser full of patterns. That's not including all the ones that I've made.
That part, and you haven't even opened it, right? Do you have your favorite pattern as a cosplay designer? What's your favorite pattern to use?
It depends on if we're talking male or female pattern. But I swear by it doesn't exist anymore. It's no longer in print. But if you ever find a copy of it, there is this old pattern it was a Civil War uniform, like basic pattern, but it's the most versatile just to make every other men's like uniform pattern from. And I used that thing to the point that I had to buy a spare. So if in case I destroyed the first one, I had spare parts.
I love it. That lets you know you have the dedication behind your craft because you're prepared because you know that pattern is going to get ripped or messed up or something. So
absolutely.
And you know this from experience, don't you?
Yes, tiny bit.
Okay, give me one of your outfits that you made and it was just completely wrong. Give me one of those things. You thought you had it right. Maybe you sewed the actual armpit clothes.
I mean, I've sewn some arms on backwards. Don't get me wrong. These things, I still do this to this day. There's still times like I'll be too tired. I'm like, this just didn't work.
Right.
Half the time I'll like try to put something together and you gotta put a lining in, and I'll go to turn it around, and I'm like, well, I made a giant pillow basically. Okay, take that apart and redo it.
Can you imagine undoing it after just spending all that time and
Oh, all the
resources?
time.
You know, you're
All
mad
the
because
time.
maybe you have like a really good yarn, or I mean like threading that you're utilizing, and you don't want to waste it because it's expensive. People don't know it gets expensive when you're
Oh, it
buying.
does.
When you're probably going to pay more to make it yourself than to actually purchase it online pre-made.
It is true. It is absolutely true. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm trying to think, what is the worst thing that I've done backwards? I'm looking around my room. Like, what can I find? Oh boy. I don't know. I've made too many things. I
You
can't
know,
remember anymore.
remember in like grade school when we had home economics
Hmm.
and we were able to like go in the kitchen and to me I thought it was very sexist that they would do it this way. All the women had to do home ec. They did
We
quite
actually didn't have enough people in our school, and the guys had to do it too.
really.
Yeah.
That's a
Now
first.
the girls didn't have to take like shop class, but I did
Right.
anyway because it's me and I'm crazy. Um,
Me too. I have a story. Go ahead.
no, but yeah, we actually did have a few guys that were in home ec class, and I remember having to teach them how to sew.
And they were like needle thread, wrap it around this.
There's a lot of like, what's happening here? But yeah, we had sewing machines, and I had to teach guys how to like not sew their fingers.
That is so awesome that you actually taught guys because I think it's a great skill for men to learn some female skills. To me, I call it female skills because it's skills men don't want to learn.
Right?
Unless it is a profession and they look at it like that. They can't. I think men have a way of like, man, that's sissy. Like I want to
Yeah.
be in the shop where I'm making wood, and then they wood art be all messed up.
Yep. Like, oh, don't cut a finger off, honey. It'll be fine.
Or like the little spice rack things ain't all the way right, but it's a spice rack, right?
Right. They tried. It's fine.
In high school, I wanted to take mechanics, and just off of watching, guys, I'm a guy's girl. I would watch things, and I would be like, okay, that's interesting. Watching do stuff in the and dealing with cars and things of that nature. And then I decided to take, the actual shop, and I had to like these pictures. I had to match them up with the words. Like, what is
Yeah.
this? So I'm like, okay. First of all, I'm glad it didn't ask me without the words being present, because now I can do the process of elimination.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So
I got to
I
figure
was
this out.
yes, let me get all the ones I know out the way. I know that's a star. I know that's an engine. I know that's a tire. I know that's a rim. I know that's a jack. Like I'm just processing things out of the way. And then I get down to like the last four and I get, right? So then they're like, Lana, like, you got the highest grade for the test. You definitely should be a mechanic. And I'm like, definitely I'm not getting my nails dirty. Okay? Do it.
Hey, but you know all the parts. That's the important part.
And that's the important part. And I love that because women, we can take on anything. We can take on a man's job and we can take on our job. I think it's pretty epic.
Absolutely.
Speaking of epic, I'm really excited that we got fully funded for.
I know.
We broke her first comic book record. How awesome is that?
Super exciting.
I can't believe it. She's fully funded. I'm ready for her. Aren't you ready for her?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the fact that like we got to do that when conventions are starting to come back, so like people can actually go and we can talk about these things and do this stuff. Like,
yes.
It's a good year for all of this. I think everybody's ready to go out and do stuff again.
Absolutely. And I love that. Like, one thing I love about Vigilance is that, in this Kickstarter, he was smart to do it in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
because he still has to put the promotions out there, right? He
Right.
still has to. So it's like, this is about to be freaking awesome when the summer hits for all of the cosplay. Me and you, ma'am. That dark vision.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I,
as soon as
I
I
want to see like the texture. Like me and you have to go shopping for like, okay, I think there might be a little wiggle room for like good texture for vigilance. Like almost scaly like.
Yes. Yes. I'm seeing this. Okay, I have some ideas. Yeah, definitely something like something off-putting but really cool at the same time.
Really cool.
Hmm.
Oh, this is amazing. I love this. You even
Yes.
see the vision of like textured, like,
Yeah, because it comes off as more villainy, dark version, and that's the whole point, right?
yes, you got me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we have another lady of FSK. We were
Yeah.
just talking about vigilance. Everybody, now I'm excited because I have the other vigilance here. You know,
Oh,
I'm the older
yay!
vigilance. It's okay, and that's
No,
why.
no, you're the original. You're not the old one. You're the original.
But with vigilance that we have, Miss Faye, she looks like she walks right out of the comic book. I love her so much, and she had an amazing night tonight with FSK doing the last bit of our Women of FSK Women's History Month. She did a phenomenal job. I was so proud of her. We're getting more people here, and I'm excited.
Yay!
Let me bring in Faye first. Hi,
Hello.
Hello,
good to see you.
Love's OG. What's up, OGV?
Today.
Marcy, what's up, girl?
Oh
It's
my
so good to
goodness.
see you, darling.
So great to see you.
You did amazing tonight. And I just want you to know that you are so inspiring for young women out there, young women of color, young women, period. And I'm just like so honored for you to be here tonight because you just did your first hosting show. How did it go?
Oh my gosh, it went really well. I had I had a great panel, so they really made it like a cakewalk for me. So I honestly have to give credit to them because those ladies are amazing. And it's the reason why that just everyone, and even you guys, like you guys are so badass. Like it's just too cool. I love you guys so much. And it's just like you make my job easy just because it's just like you're like, come on, we got this. Let's go. Let's do it. And I'm just like, okay.
We look arms, guys, here at FSK as ladies. And speaking of vigilance, we have vigilance OG, we have vigilance out of the comics, and then we have like the lead colorist to vigilance who just popped up. Come on,
Yeah.
Hi. Yes.
I was having issues with my sound. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we hear you.
Hear you, yeah.
Okay, good. Like at the end of the last one, it was like my sound dropped out, and I'm like,
Like I got you. Just move your mouth, and I got you. Like I'll voice you.
thank you.
like a puppet. You'll be my puppeteer.
I'll talk to like Veronica. She was like Instagram at _.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So we were just discussing about vigilance. If you guys don't know, for those that are here tonight, those who are coming on later, I want you guys to know tonight we are just reliving our last moments of the Women's History Month with the ladies of FSK. Tonight we're just, pretty much giving that encouragement to women in comics. We want you guys to understand the aspects of being women in comics. There were some notes I took from your interview tonight with the ladies of FSK for the Women's History Month, and I just loved how they were discussing about not being too small in this area, in this genre, not being too shy, and it's okay to break barriers. You don't have to lower and belittle yourself. You should set those standards, and I believe it was you, Veronica, who was saying that, right? Some of those.
Sorry, I was like,
Okay. We're all
Yeah, she was basically saying, just like you were breaking those, like you were the one that was saying, breaking those barriers. You're the one saying taking up space, and how you basically were, you would put your work out there and you would step back and kind of talk about, how you would take the criticism and be like, okay, these are good things. I'm gonna leave with the good things. I'll leave the bad, but I'll still improve in my field. And saying, just piggybacking, saying that's what you were saying in our previous panel we just had. So
absolutely. If you could kind of expand on that some more. Well, first introduce yourself to everyone.
Did we lose
If
her?
you would like, Veronica.
It was the connection kind of. It was having a little issue. Like, I was doing so well. Okay. I'm Veronica Smith. See, now I've forgotten already what I was supposed to be talking about.
Yourself.
We do so much, right? We got listen to the end of the night. You just came from like I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have trouble talking about myself, so it was like
you and Michael Watson have that in common. Did you notice that? He does not like to get any type of praise. He's like, "Oh, it's not me."
It's not me. Like, I'm only as good as the other person,
right? And he has like what 90% of his team is women. How awesome is that, right?
Yeah, are we up to 90 now? Wow.
Yeah, we're about 90%, if not at least 85. Right. I'm going to add an extra 5% because we're awesome.
I mean, why not?
There we go.
Awesomeness counts for extra.
But Veronica, I was really wanting to hear you more expel on what you were saying as far as like not needing to be small in this area of women in comics, not to have to shy out. You should break barriers. You should be setting standards. Because we need more women in this sector, so that way we can really showcase what we have, what we can do. We are talented, we are strong, we are smart, and we juggle the world. I don't know if you saw Encanto, but we're like Louisa out here, okay?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We're not talking about Bruno.
No, don't talk about Bruno.
So I just wanted to hear you expand more on that concept you were talking about.
And I think I do. Firstly, I do kind of have a tendency to just kind of shy away, because it's like I've always had an issue with like kind of being in the spotlight or being like having people look at me. So I'm always kind of like shying back, but I'm trying to work more on realizing it's okay to take up space.
Yeah.
Because as a larger bodied woman, I've had issues with that growing up and not being okay to be in a larger body.
Yeah.
And so now it's like I gotta work on that. Be like, it's okay to take up space, and it's okay to be like
to fill out and fill in.
Yeah.
Think about it. If we were all not filling out, imagine what it would look like inking all those black and white lines. You gotta fill those spaces with color and personality, and it adds, like when you're coloring, you're adding different tones to it. That's all of those curves, honey. That's all those little like moments. That's all those love and rolls that you like. Talking about rolls, okay? I think we deserve to be in our space and be 100% confident with that. And that's what tonight is about. Even though we only get a month, and I'm very grateful for that. I was telling Marcy earlier, like, I'm grateful that we get a month. I'm glad we don't have a day, but we need a year, we need a whole year to just celebrate us, because, we deal with so much. And I love that you even said that you weren't comfortable with yourself, in your body, being a thicker, more filled woman. And that is something that we should start to learn to embrace within ourselves, because we tend to hate ourselves, and then we allow the world to dictate where that hate goes on ourselves, and it just gives us that much more insecurities and anxieties to not be great, to not be empowering, to not be accepting of ourselves first before you can accept a friend, a guy, or even an inking cat. Like, come on, you're so talented. That should
Absolutely.
before they say anything about your body. And if they do, I'm going to punch them in the face. Okay?
Vigilance coming after him.
Period. The V's are coming after you.
Oh, yes. This is the V's right here. If
We don't
anybody
accept
would
that.
know- okay, since we're here, we're just gonna go ahead and cut into a little bit of vigilance because this is vigilance all day right now. We'll be right back. Watch this. Yes. I'm going to bring Miss Veronica Smith back in. It was so much power there. It knocked you out there for a second, but we brought you back in. And so I wanted to showcase that because if you guys don't know, this is the core vigilance team right here. I mean, we're missing a couple of the pencilers and of course the writers, but we have what you guys see right here. We have Miss Marcy over here, who is our top cosplay designer, and she's designed me on 2 different size levels. One when I was and 2 when I got all them hooks and them curves and them favorite back jeans so, and also she has been awesome as far as getting this beautiful woman down here on such a level. Like, I'd be like, my God, she looks just like her. I'm like, God, she stepped out of the comics. You're so poised. You're so, confident with such, I don't know what the word is, but such grace, and I love it, which is why I don't mind being dark vigilance.
I'm like stupidly excited for this. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, all right, who am I making this for?
Oh, we were just
I saw that and I was like half asleep. I was just like, oh boy. That'll be fun.
We were like going back and forth on our little chat in there as far as like who's gonna beat who, just off of the dark and light. And the moment you brought out, you already know our favorite, Sailor Moon. I said she won. She won.
You can't go wrong with Sailor Moon, right?
Savior to all, icon. I mean, she won, okay? But yeah, this is the core here. She does an amazing job. I'm talking about Veronica with the coloring. And I mean, tell me what it's like for you to like stroke that pen and that color all on Vigilance, bringing out those black and white and making it reality for us. Marcy has to like depend on that,
Colors are important for me.
I don't know. Well, Vigilance's colors were already set, so it's like, I don't know.
You could have made it orangish or pinkish, but you was like, that red is
just pops. So I guess I kind of try to bring in a little of my color theory, and like because with her main color, that red, so then I kind of try to bring in colors that are opposite that, so it kind of makes her pop out of everything else.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And there, you know what's really interesting about Vigilance I've noticed over the years, you know, there's so many different variations of her. You know, she changes. You know, she's still that icon, but her features change, you know, her body shape changes, you know, and that's something that I noticed even with you saying that, you know, being nervous, or even me, like I tend not to do a lot of postings with my whole body because I don't want nobody talking about my booty. Okay, we don't need to talk about my butt. All right, vigilance is courageous. Okay.
Okay.
But what I loved is even in the trailer we watched, he mentions even as us women the things that we go through. Like, and inside of us, we do have a destroyer aspect to us. Inside of us, we do have a killer aspect to us. Inside of us, we are damaged. We are lost. You know, I find it to be so inspiring to see those words associated with her going through her psychological, you know, mentality, like her mental at this point in volume 4 is where she's like contemplating herself. And this is something us women do naturally. I mean, do you not agree, Faye?
I absolutely agree. Being an overthinker, that is definitely second nature. So when I see her go through those motions, I'm just kind of like, man, I'm right there with you, V. I feel it. I feel it. And it's definitely amazing seeing how this part is definitely going to be taken into play and how it recently is out. So I'm excited. It looks amazing. Artwork is spectacular. And you definitely feel the emotion in the pages.
Absolutely.
Her world really kind of turns upside down in 4 because it's like she's taken out of the field. It's like, so she's like, she can't be vigilance anymore. Yeah. She's gotta then really come into her own and like really decide who she is after all, because all she's known is the cape and that red and white suit. That's all she's known. So she's like, okay, who am I? What am I? Yeah. So it's like, okay, how do I live in this world without what I thought who I was?
Without that identity, right?
Absolutely. That's so interesting.
Yes. Like, how many times have you gone through life, Marcy? You know, you're so seasoned with all of the amazing work that you do. How many times have you gone through life contemplating the identity of yourself? When I say killer, destroyer, I don't mean all the time physically. I mean killer of ideas, destroyer of your plans. You know, like you said, Faye, you know, overthinking and killing the actual dream, choking it like Black Dark Vigilance was trying to choke like Vigilance.
Oh man, it's all the time. Like,
yeah.
Everybody, I mean, you know, there's that whole thing about you renew your cells every 7 years or whatever, you know, shenanigans that was. I mean, I think everyone kind of reinvents themselves that much.
Yeah.
Because you learn, you grow, you have to, you know, yeah, you burn it down, you destroy it, you build it back up and go from there. And you can't be the same person that you were 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago.
And just go upstairs with your sister. I'm sorry. Just help her. Just help her. She needs your help.
Sometimes you gotta deal with these things they're not used to, right?
And she's like, come with me. Come with me. She's like, go to the bathroom. Go. Mia, do not use the bathroom on yourself. Are y'all in the tub or are y'all in the toilet? Okay, thank you, Kaden. Without you, it wouldn't be possible.
I love it.
And, you know, you keep getting new adventures just like this of, hey, where are you at right now?
Exactly.
With kids, you never know. Okay, you might, it might be throw up one day, it's pee the next. Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
right?
I also want to piggyback off of the fact that this is issue number 4. I honestly just looked up 4 and the meaning of it, the symbolism behind it is self-expression and self-fulfillment. So just kind of like we were saying, that she literally is getting turned upside down and she's questioning all of these things. You're saying like killer, destroyer of these things. She has to understand who she is. So I find that to be so crazy that it happens to be issue number 4, where she's also having to deal a lot with herself. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
coincidence? I think not.
I think there's more to this story, and I haven't read it yet.
All right,
Same.
me either.
What's going on? You need to change clothes? Kaden, I thought you guys were taking showers. What happened? You just want to watch my phone? That's what happened. They wanted to watch my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we're kind of like bear it all tonight because, as women, like you were stating in issue 4, we do need to have those moments in life where we reinvent ourselves. We destroy the old, we kill the old, and we rebuild and continue to be icons in not only our children's but our own eyes. My journey moving forward this year is encouragement and just pushing forward and pushing through the adversity. And a lot of times we get stuck seeing the things that we want versus the things that we can't get versus where we are. And us women, we tend to be able to navigate through that so well, where we understand the losses and we understand the gains, but we're also bounce back worthy. Sort of like after you have that baby and, bounce back, sometimes it don't happen after the second kid. Sometimes, you might have to work at it a little bit. But part of that just means that we already naturally have that ability innately in us. And I think it's just amazing because we're superheroes. We literally are portals. We bring people into this world. I don't know if you guys know that or not. One moment is just you. Now you have a village. Like, when did that happen? Right? Like,
It took a few months, but
So we're resilient, and I love Vigilance 4 because it goes into that aspect of her, seeing herself being human for the first time, actually contemplating things. And I feel like women in comics, like you were saying, Veronica, we do find ourselves limiting ourselves.
Yeah.
Putting ourselves in a jar or in a box when we don't fit. And it's uncomfortable, to the point where we might second guess our whole purpose here anyway. And that's because, we shouldn't limit ourselves. And I really would like to hear some like encouraging words, Veronica, for women that are looking to get into coloring and becoming an editor, like the beginning stages. You've been there, you're here. They would want to hear something from you, giving some type of encouragement to keep going. So what would you say?
Persevere. Like I think it just like everything when I've kind of like doubted myself or thought like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It's like you just got to keep going, because especially if it's something that you enjoy doing, which I really love what I'm doing with FSK, and it's like so you just keep doing it. And I certainly got lucky when Mike first asked me to do a test page for Hot Shot, those 6 years ago or whatever it was. So it was like I never would have imagined I'd be, it would have progressed to this point. And but I'm just kind of glad that I stuck with it through the ups and downs. And it's like,
yeah, like in those moments that you're like thinking like, you know what, I'm tired of this, and I'm not really getting what I want out of it. But that's what you wake up to every morning. You think about that. When you go to sleep at night, you're trying to figure out how you can get that, right? In those moments when you're kind of like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. What is a good light to kind of grasp onto to just kind of pull you out of that darkness, Marcy? Like when you're in that moment, I would like for you to kind of like find something in you. I'm not even, because someone can see and get an example from you and say, you know what, I understand that. Something for you to pull you out of that darkness, that little light of string that just, you know what, I can do that. I can. What is something that you say to yourself or you do or remind yourself, Marcy?
Oh. Burnout's real. You know, it's a thing. We all go through it at some point in time, but remembering what it is that you love doing about it, like that first moment that you're, like for comics, like first moment you printed, or first time that you see the look on a child's face when they're so excited about seeing your cosplay, or just any person in general for that matter. But yeah, just that one moment of this is what it's all about. That is what to, like, just bring you back to, like, no, this is why I love doing this. This is why I love doing my job. This is why I love coloring. This is why I love inking. This is why I love making cosplay. Whatever.
I love that. I love that so much so that I'm going to say this addition to that. The moment you have an opportunity to do what you want to do it. Because that's going to be that light that you pull from when you don't have a light to pull from. When you have that moment where you're deciding, man, should I just do my everyday thing or take on this opportunity that I really want to do, my heart's jumping for it, figure out a way to make it work if you can and do it. Because when you're there, when you're in that moment, I want you to take a moment. Like, I'll give you an example. When you're at a cosplay, when you're cosplaying and you're at a con, that's what I meant to say. And you are like surrounded by nerds and geekdom of out to the wahoo, right? You just take a moment and just almost do a panoramic view of that moment and just capture that, because that moment's only going to last as long as that convention, okay, for one. Mm-hmm. Not all day, all night, every day. So that convention is over, and then you're back home, you're back on your regular schedule, and now you have new motivation to say, you know what, this job is just daytime income, because when I go back to that con, I'm networking, and I'm going to get somebody to pay for me to do a commission. I'm going to get someone to believe in me and invest in me. I'm going to network with other great cosplayers. We're going to get together. We're going to start shooting, and we're going to be on top of, I don't know, what kind of buildings. You take that moment, and I wanted to build on that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what I do. When you guys see me at cons and I disappear, that's because I'm going somewhere to find a corner to be like, yeah, baby, I'm here.
Yeah,
yep. I might lie. Look where
it's important. It's important. You got to do that. You know, it's all about mindset and perspective. Because that was the thing I could say. BlurredCon was huge for me because it didn't really set in for me that I was really dressing up and doing that until I went to that cosplay contest, because I knew it was like, again, this is original character. You know, I was next to the person actually waiting in line who actually won, because what she did was amazing, like hand-dyed fabrics and everything. But in that moment, it was so cool because I was around the people that like I followed on Instagram, where I was just like, wow, they're so cool. Like, hopefully one day, like, I'll see. And it's like, they're the judge. They see me, and I'm like, what? Like, cutie pie, like one of them cutie pie sensei. I remember.
Oh yeah.
Giving credit where it was due. I turned around and I just cursed you. I said, I'm giving you your flowers. And I remember the group picture. My favorite cosplayer that I just love her aesthetic, and I said, finding my own way into that is Kiara Please. And I look out into the crowd, and she's standing on a chair about to take a picture of me. I'm trying not to have like a freaking like anxiety. I'm like, it's like she wants to take a picture. She's taking a picture of me, and I finally got to meet her, and I was just like, that is too cool. Like, it finally set in where it's just like, wow, this is amazing. This is networking. These are people who do this, and it's such a great feeling. And exactly, just setting in that moment. Like, there's so many times I think back on that, and it's just kind of like, I'm so grateful to have that and look back on that, because it's just absolutely incredible. So,
and the best part is that you're probably also someone else's favorite memory. Gotta think about that. Like, you go to, this goes for everybody here, but you think about it, like, there's probably something that you've done or you've been part of or whatever that is someone else's favorite memory. Yeah. So whatever you do can be that great memory I mean, it could also be a bad memory depending on how it went, but
That's true.
but how you feel when you see these people that you admire and you want to network with and everything. Other people feel the same way about us in that regard. And you don't think about it, especially if you're small time and you don't do this all the time. But anything, like, people are like, oh man, I really love your colors, Veronica, and I know this is so cool. And like, you may not realize it, especially if you're not out there that much. But yeah, there's probably someone out there like, oh man, I really love these colors. I need to talk to her at some point. Just saying.
That's true.
I'm saying for real.
You're
Like,
true. You're right.
out on
You're
the
right.
colors. I got this TikTok to where I'm asking them like what color is one of my clothing garments, and one guy actually put, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a hashtag and there's like some numbers next to it. I don't know what those are called.
Oh, that's it's a PM, not PM number. Pantone color.
Pantone color. I'm thinking
Pantone color.
His digits. I'm like, you're missing some numbers, buddy. But
the Pantone colors is it's basically like print colors for when you're doing. It's basically so like, I mean, I use it a lot for company stuff. But it'll be a color that matches their branding.
Yeah.
So it's the same color across the board. But usually, it functions more as print colors. It's hard to make into reality colors. So you gotta do some creative mixing of things.
Makes sense. Only you, woman in comics, know this, because I didn't get it from a dude.
I have weird knowledge, so you got random things. I got some weird knowledge up here.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love
Not
it.
even weird knowledge. It's just facts.
There we go. There we go, bitch.
Random facts of knowledge. How about that?
I love that. And then, like, for you, Veronica, I want to piggyback off of what you said, Marcy, that, they may have been, I know you have been, someone's like, this was the best moment in my life right here. Like, this is my moment. For you, Veronica, even though you don't cosplay or you're not designing the clothing, but you are giving them the visual and the color and the feel and the texture that they feel the whole thing. Like, they feel like they're there. They feel like they understand the moment more because it's in color. It's got more definition to it, It's got that pin number. I think that's what you called it.
Pantone.
Pantone number. It's got that Pantone number. And, other people can identify with that. You to know, like, how incredible you are. Like, do you not understand what it's like for me to actually have tangible proof of vigilance in color? I mean, she's not here. It's my hand.
I was with it. I was agree. I was like, yeah.
I was like, yeah, absolutely. It's right there.
So we have like vigilance, and when people look at it and they see the color in the art, that's the first thing they see. That's the first thing they see is the color. Does the color connect with me? Am I able to vibe with that color? You know what I'm saying? And you do such an amazing job at that. And I know there are women out there that, are wanting someone to look up to. Like, they like to draw, they like to color. They don't really know what it is that you do, but they like it and they're learning more about it. So I do want to give this moment to you ladies to kind of let them know where they can find you, to continue to follow you, to continue to learn from you, to continue to grow with you throughout this journey, where they can be inspired and you can be inspired, because this is an interchangeable relationship as women have at FSK. We inspire each other. So I'll start with you, Veronica. We want to, let them know where they can find you.
You guys find me on the FSK page on Facebook, and I on Instagram, V_Smith84. I post on there mostly. I do have a DeviantArt. I don't really do much on that, but it's Ron84 is my DeviantArt. That's pretty much it. I don't do like the tweeting and the TikToking. I don't do that.
Well,
I don't either. I'm with you. It's like I'm old school. No, thank you.
It's for you, V, and then all of a sudden you're just going to be blowing up, in your niche. Trust me, there is something for you. There's something for everyone on TikTok. So Thank you so much, Bea, for coming on tonight. You have just been such an inspiration to so many and to me because I can really show proof of a Black superhero because you know it. So thank you.
Sorry.
I also want to allow everyone to be able to get in touch with you, talk with you, jump on your podcast. Miss Faye, I love you so much. You are such an inspiration to me. When I see you, I get inspired. When I see you, I'm so happy for you. And I'm just like, you have the sweetest soul. You're just so genuinely an angel. And you're like our angel. That's why I know you can't be Dark Vigilance. I have to take on that class.
It's true. It's true.
I don't want to taint you.
Yeah,
You're badass. So you're super badass when you're out there and you just look amazing. And I want you to just pretty much let everyone know where they can find you and to continue to follow your progress and see you becoming more and more great every day.
Well, thank you. It's high praise. Shucks. Thank you. I'm surrounded by you guys, which are amazing. And you guys you just take me to that level. So I gotta give you kudos as well. I can be found at Feline Soleil on all platforms. So if anything, Facebook, Instagram, I usually put on my stories there, just inspirational messages every day because again, everything is perspective and we can think about it a little bit better. We can make our lives just that much better every day. So that's kind of where I found. I'm just kind of feeling my way out and doing more and more of the things that I love to find my way with that. So that's where you can find me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight. You did an amazing job also on your hosting tonight on FSK, Freestyle Comics, Chat and Draw, Most Epic Art. You just outdid yourself tonight and you had an amazing panel and I can't wait to see more of you doing more hosting and interviewing. You have such a great presence on TV and on camera, so good job tonight.
So much. I appreciate you so much.
Welcome. And for Miss Marcy, absolutely adore you. You make us look good. You make
whatever.
Literally.
amazing. In real life, you take her coloring and you're like, bam! That is amazing.
Whatever. I can't do without all of you here, so it's not just me.
So go ahead and tell them where they can follow you, they can learn from you, they can watch you and continue to grow with you. Where can they find you?
I am mostly on Instagram as the Veda Nikita, which is my handle right there in front of me. And that's my main thing I post on is Instagram. And I'm not as up to date as I should be for standard things, but it's a lot of me and sewing and my cats. So be prepared for all those things.
It's a great
My
combination.
Instagram is half my cats. So.
Yeah, it's a thing. They show up. You gotta take pictures of them.
And so it looks like Salem to me. It looks like also, one of the cat from Sailor Moon. I can't really think of his name.
Luna. Yes.
So it's just so cute and refreshing to see her. Can't wait for Halloween. I'm going to get her some ears or something that has like the little Luna mark. Something to give her spice for Halloween. Okay. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining me tonight in the last moments of Women's History Month. And we're giving our last encouragement, conversations and our experience that keeps us going in being women in comics, being women in this sector. And I appreciate you all so much. And so does the rest of everyone who's watching this and who will be watching this. They appreciate your voice. They appreciate your opinion and the statements and your encouragement because this is what we need for women. We need to stick together. And us women of FSK, we are dope. I can't wait till we do our first event. I'm coining it Mr. Michael Watson. I know you're not here right now, but we're going to do a women's FSK event so that way we can just embrace us and thank us and be just grateful to have great creators and content makers here within our group. So with that being said, ladies, don't go. I have some things I want to say after this, but thank you, everyone. We're going to go ahead and show a little bit of love to FSK because without them, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so much, and you guys have a good night.
Freestyle Comics. Chill. I think it's time for me to save the day. Grease. Y'all know what it is. A hot shot. Let me heat it up. My girl think that I'm creeping, cause sometimes I leave her stuck. I'm thinking in my mind, I'm just trying to save the world. But she always think I'm lying and be trying to lay with girls. Take a walk in your shoes, I would rather fly. I fight for justice and vigilance, you would rather die. Now I'm trying to shed a little light to the darkness. He trying to bring me down like a woman when she heartless. Hey Mr. Watson, I got a couple questions. I'm hoping you can answer before I learn a lesson. So let me know. Tell me what it takes to be a hero, let me know. Tell me what it takes to be a hero, let me know. Tell me what it takes to be a hero, let me know. Just let me know. I think that I should